This video goes over the audio system in excruciating detail, goes over every wire that's in it. It opens up this dashboard and shows you how to get into the dashboard where you can put an audio system, the different switches, wires, and so forth. It also then at the end hooks up this preamp that you'll find in your goodie box and connects an iPod to it and shows you how the audio system can function. It shows you where the speakers are in the front and the back, and how the back speakers are removable if you don't want to have an audio system. Since I don't listen to music, I just started putting this in when my nephews came to visit a few years ago. You'll see in the back there's the amplifier, very high quality, powerful input amplifier, and a big subwoofer that really kicks out the bass. And so this video goes over all those things. And so let's go to the back now and get under the back seat and show you all the different wires and the amplifiers. Okay, the audio system is under the back seat. So I'm going to open up the back seat a little bit and show you where it is and show you what's there. So I'm just basically pull on this front seat, pull and push up, and then this lifts right off. It has a little hooks there, and you can see there's two things here. One is the Blancpain PCA 4600. It's very high-end, or at least at the time. I think Blancpain now has, for a couple years, new system. It's a 432 channel power amplifier, 700 watt maximum, and then you also have a Bazooka CS, which is the subwoofer. Next to it is a piece of Dynamat that keeps the walls from vibrating. The bass can get quite loud. Right now I have the bass set to 2 or 3. It can go all the way up to 10. So you can really blow out some bass in this thing. The Blancpain has wires that go to each of the speakers. Over here on the right side are wires that go to each speaker, and wires that go to the ground, and wires that go to a power supply which powers both these, that goes directly to the battery. In the engine compartment coming off the battery, you'll see this big red wire, and that has another fuse to it, so to protect this whole area. But also to protect this area are another relay that only turns on the power to these two systems when the car is in run. So when the car is in run, the power to these systems and this big red wire is able to be activated, and then the amplifiers, both the Bazooka and the Blancpain, comes on when a switch is turned on in the front panel, which we'll show you. Usually you hook that up to your head unit, and it comes on whenever your head unit comes on and turns these off. But even again, there's a regular cigarette lighter output with two outputs, one for the always on when run, and then there's another one you'll see if you look really in the corner straight behind that big black, the seat. There's another one that is hooked up that's always on. And that one is actually hooked up, I know this isn't part of the audio system, but that's hooked up to this panel that gets power from the sun. That always keeps the battery charged. And this way, if you leave the car for a month or so without power, the battery will still be, without using it I should say, the battery will still be powered. So now let's take off the front panel of the dashboard and show you where all these wires that are here in this Blancpain hooked up to it, where they all end up at. Taking off the dashboard is quite easy. It's just a matter of removing a few screws, and they're easy to see. Just remove this screw, this screw, this screw, and so forth. Oh, you didn't see me. All these screws along here. We'll just remove those, and so I'm going to remove those and stop the video and remove those. It'll take a minute or so. And then we'll go on with what's inside here. Okay, I've removed the screws. Now I'm just pull it out, and I'll show you two things. One is I'm reaching down underneath the leg rest, and I'm just pulling this out. And you pull it out, and there's some dowels here that keep it. Let's see. Can you see those dowels? That connects it to the other side. And then there's this wire here. You disconnect that. This wire is 12 volts to these two always on cigarette lighters, and then also for the when the headlights are on, the light for the clock comes on. It's a nice green glow. That while we're at it, back here in the back, you see behind here, this is the battery compartment for the clock. It was just two AA batteries. Will probably lasted 3 or 4 years. And this is the clock adjust up and down. The clock came off of well, it just came out of along drugs or something. But it's a very powerful clock. It has a really great light, and you can see it from the very back, from the back seat, without needing glasses. So it's a great clock to put in here. Now, I'm just putting this to the side, and going to show you some of the wires that are here. I'm going to pull this into handheld mode, so just give me a second. Okay, now I'm in handheld mode. Hopefully this won't jiggle that much. Inside here you have space to put some electronics in here. I was going to put something I hadn't really decided yet. Though at one time I had this 5.1 channel preamp that hooked up to an iPod. Actually, I'll hook that up so you can hear the audio system a little later. But anyway, to just show you the wires. Here we have this wire here, and I'll mark these wires before I put this back together. This goes to the subwoofer, that big bazooka subwoofer. This one is the preamp for the back speakers, because they're bigger. And this is the front speakers. And then this actually is power for the preamp that I showed you there. And I'll just leave that in there so you know which ones go there. In the DVD or the CD that you get, which is the actual Ford manual for this, it goes over all the wires that are in here. And actually I printed out those areas. Now, what I was planning to do eventually, I just never got around to it, was take this preamp and put it in there and take out the main volume potentiometer, which is a 100 kilo ohm audio dual gang audio taper. I was going to try to find from DigiKey or All Electronics or someplace like that a similar one, but with a switch. So this way, all I would need once I set it up is here is a nice wooden handled switch that would turn off and then adjust the volume once I had everything adjusted. And this is the mimics that's the switch part of that. This is just an on-off switch that when you're on run, it will turn on the amplifier on the back, the two amplifiers in the back. They're basically that little on switch that they all have. You'll see it in the manual. And so was just what I had until I got that other potentiometer. But as you know, I ran out of time and it didn't do it. One other thing to note, you saw the antenna is one of those power antennas. Of course, if I don't listen to music, I don't listen to the radio either. So, and anyway, here are the cables for the power antenna. It's typical Radio Shack power antenna. And you do get a radio in here, and you want to use the antenna, then that's okay to do. So I hooked up the audio system to this little iPod here. And you can see the lights coming on for the... I don't have it turned up very loud. But you can hear the bass when it kicks in a few seconds. Again, that space is set up to just 2 and it's almost vibrating the car. Okay, well that's enough for now.